Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you how I self-published my very first children's book on Amazon. So if this is of interest to you, stay tuned. So this is my book. It's 8.5 by 8.5 and I decided I wanted this size purely because I wanted something quite small and easily accessible to take away with you. So that's the size that I chose, but there's loads of different sizes that you can actually choose from. So the first thing I did was to write my book out on Word, and then I used InDesign to set out my book, because you can set out the dimensions on InDesign very easily. So that's how I went about actually designing the setup of it. Drawing wise, I had an illustrator who created my front cover, which was absolutely amazing. So her name was Rosa Hampter, and I shall leave her link to her website below. So she created my front cover and I did all of my illustrations. But it is totally up to you how you go about creating your self-published book, and whether you want to do your own illustrations or if you want an illustrator to do them all. But remember, if you do have an illustrator to do them all, then you're most likely going to have to sort out royalty fees and all that kind of thing, because they have illustrated your book. So bear that in mind as well. So I did my illustrations. So how did I actually go about drawing my illustrations? I decided to do my illustrations just on a watercolour pad, and I used watercolour pencils actually, because they were the easiest thing for me to use. So these are the ones that my nan had, so they were very, very good, very easy to use. And then I just outlined my images with a fine black line. So this is an example of one of my images that I have in my book, which is this one. As you can see, it's just very simple. That's what I could manage with my book. So how did I go about transferring my pictures to my actual design format? I decided just to take photographs of my images outside. I used Photoshop, and then I lightened my pictures, and then obviously you want to have the invisible background as well, which you can do very easily. Also, you can do that on Word too. So then I transferred all my images, all my words onto my InDesign pages, making sure that I had everything in the right place. I then inserted page numbers, and my book is 32 pages. So I have a blank page there and a blank page there, and that is what it will give you when you design it on Amazon. So I shall now show you, once you've created everything and you've saved it as a PDF, I shall now show you how to log on to the Kindle Direct Publishing and how to go about actually uploading everything. So here we go. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to independently publish with Amazon Direct Publishing. So just go ahead and sign in or create an Amazon account to do this. This will then take you to the Kindle Direct Publishing, where you can choose to either upload a paperback version or a Kindle ebook. But do be aware that a Kindle ebook will have slightly different dimensions than a paperback. You then fill in the paperback details such as the language, the book title, series information if you have one, edition number is also optional, the author information, contributors, and of course the description. Publishing rights, it depends. I own the copyright and I hold the necessary publishing rights, so I opted for this, but it could be a public domain work, which you can also opt for as well. And don't forget to put in keywords, because they are a definite for when people are searching on Amazon. Categories, again, you can choose which category, and if there's any adult content, which hopefully won't be in a picture book, but you never know. The next section is all about the paperback content. So you can assign yourself an ISBN number, which is what I did, or you can have your own ISBN number. Then you can choose the print options, whether you want black and white interior, colour interior, and your trim size. Mine was 8.5 by 8.5, so I opted for this option, but there's, as you can see, lots of options here to choose from, or you can self-define the trim size. You can then choose whether you want a matte or glossy finish. I chose a glossy finish for mine, no bleed. And then, of course, this is where you upload your paperback manuscript and your cover. You can also use the cover creator via Amazon for this as well, or you can upload a cover you already have in print-ready PDF. And then you must review your book, preview your book, before you save and continue to the next page. The next page is all about pricing, and it's pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not going to show you that. The Getting Started page is also incredibly helpful. It gives you lots of information at the side about how to publish your book and tax information. And again, it's very, very easy to use. So I suggest you look at that before you start uploading any of your book.
Don't forget to send yourself proof copies of your book. This is one of my first proof copies, and I don't know how clearly you can see it on the actual screen, but I noticed that the writing was a little bit blurry. So I then had to go back to my illustrator and ask her to change the writing to an image setup. And then when it finally printed on my final book, it was much, much clearer. So I would suggest sending yourself some proof copies, or the other option is to download the PDF a copy, but it's probably better to get your hands on the real thing so you can actually see the cover and see that everything is in place and it hasn't cut off anything, and you can check the back cover and everything inside. So I would definitely suggest getting yourself a proof copy as well.
So there we have it. That is how I went about creating my self-published book on Amazon. So don't forget to give it a thumbs up and a subscribe, and if you have any questions, write them in the comments below and I will answer them when I can. See you next time. Bye!